Dunescape is an influential architecture project by shop architects. It was the project that pretty much like put them on the map as a sort of like progressive architecture firm. It's an outdoor public space that's meant to resemble like a beach, which is where you get Dunescape from. It's like a rolling kind of plane of sand, and we took that as a jumping off point for our project to create a public space that's indoors, that's in the College of Design atrium. There's kind of a tongue-in-cheek reference to it because it's definitely a summertime space. It was meant to be outdoors. It's a dune. That's not what you get with winter in the middle of Ames, Iowa. But we hope that people occupy it in a way that's really playful, and that really changes how they use the space.
So the first step of this project is to do research. This is because we want to improve the function of the atrium as a public space, but we don't really know exactly how the atrium already functions as a public space, and therefore we can't really improve it. One particular thing I focused on were the round tables in the atrium. Round tables are kind of interesting because there are no empty seats. You can have a group of 6 sit at a round table, or you can have one person sit at a round table, and it's not, like, awkward. But the issue then becomes that those different sized groups of people take up the same amount of space. Nobody wants to go and sit at a table if there's already people at it because they're not really associated as part of that group. Part of what I wanted to do with this project is to be able to, first of all, create situations where people can sit by their own and not take up space that other people want to use, just by like being in the vicinity of usable space. And also I want to be able to have the accidental sharing of ideas, where you can come into a conversation that's already been started and it's not awkward to just jump in.
In our studies of the Vendo land space on the second floor, we noticed that people like to sit on the desks that were kind of high up near the railing that overlooks the first floor of the atrium. We observed that these people regularly were seen looking down to see kind of what other people were doing. They were people watching, basically. We tried to incorporate this into our design by creating kind of like a stadium seating kind of clamshell design that allowed people some protection while also offering an expansive view of the atrium.
In my studio, I originally had an individual design, very curvy, very open, and we refined it within a smaller group of 3 to 4 people within our other individual designs. So we combined 3 individual designs there, and then we took that group, and there were probably 4 or 5 of those small groups in our entire section of 15, 16 people, and we merged kind of the 2 or 3 really strong concepts into one design. So our design was a concept that combined kind of a more flowing, curvy surface with sort of a couple of flat spaces that were kind of based more on ergonomics.
So in Gregory's studio, out of the charrettes that we did, we took 2 major designs, one of which was the pentapods, which were pentagon-shaped enclosures that individual people could sit in. And then we took the hill design, which was a very adaptable space that could be kind of transformed to fit wherever it needed to go in the larger design. The hill design was actually chosen to progress into the final design, but we wanted to take that element of private space that was in the pentapods design and integrate it back into the hills. We added an overhead canopy in the back, and we added a singular solo pod on the more ground level of the surface that gave it a private space as well as a group working space. It didn't kind of discriminate one or the other.
For the design development of this project, we used a 3D modeling tool called Rhinoceros, and is a very powerful and useful tool because it allows us to realize our ideas in 3D very quickly, which allows us to iterate through multiple ideas at a very quick pace. What we build in the software is exactly what we will build in the end. And so this allows us to relatively quickly spit out construction documents. And so we can send those files over to the fabrication team, and they can start making all of the individual parts that we need to assemble the project.
For our design process, each studio designed a 5 by 20 foot strip that was conceived of as an independent surface, an independent space. We then took those 5 surfaces and put them together and redesigned that surface as one continuous whole. And that is what you see as the final design of the 2x2.